How does fair use apply to registered copyright? Have you ever wondered how you can use someone else's creative work without getting into trouble? The concept of fair use is here to help. Fair use is a legal principle that allows limited use of copyrighted material without needing permission from the copyright owner. This applies even if the work is officially registered. When you register your copyright, you gain exclusive rights, such as the ability to reproduce and distribute your work. However, these rights come with some limitations, and fair use is one of them. So, how does fair use work with registered copyright? It involves looking at four main factors. The first factor is the purpose and character of the use. This means considering whether you are using the work for commercial reasons or for nonprofit educational purposes. If your use is transformative, meaning it adds new meaning or expression, it is more likely to be considered fair use. The second factor is the nature of the copyrighted work. If the original work is factual, it is more likely to fall under fair use than if it is highly creative. For instance, using a factual report may be easier to justify than using a novel. Next, we have the amount and substantiality of the portion used. This factor examines how much of the original work you are using. If you are only using a small part that is not the most important section, your use is more likely to be fair use. Finally, the fourth factor looks at the effect on the market. This means assessing whether your use harms the market for the original work. If your use could replace the original or reduce its sales, it is less likely to be considered fair use. While fair use primarily deals with copyright, it is essential to remember that registered copyrights grant exclusive rights that can be enforced unless fair use applies. Unlike patents or trademarks, which protect inventions and brand identifiers, copyright protects creative expressions. Fair use helps balance the rights of copyright holders with the public's interest in using creative works for purposes like criticism, education, and research. For creators and users, understanding fair use is vital when dealing with registered copyrighted works. Even with registration, you can use portions of a work without permission if your use meets the fair use criteria. However, fair use is not a blanket exemption. Each case must be evaluated individually, considering the four factors mentioned. Just acknowledging the source does not eliminate the need to assess fair use or obtain permission when necessary. In essence, fair use applies to registered copyrights by providing a legal defense that limits the exclusive rights granted by registration. This allows certain uses without permission under specific conditions that consider purpose, nature, amount used, and market impact.